Hello, welcome back to the Pokemon Infinity UU tournament. We're doing another post commentary here. This is Feutor's match, his POV against Daniel. This is the first round of the lower bracket. Feutor dropped down to the lower bracket after conceding to Haji-sama after they were unable to figure out a way to get around their time zones and work schedules. So Haji-sama's advancing in the upper bracket, and Feutor has decided to try and play his trade down in the lower bracket to see what he can do against the odds. And he's facing Daniel, who lost in his first home match to myself. So we'll see how it can go here. We've got Feutor's POV, and we're going to probably get a look at his team as he decides what he wants to lead with, and we'll talk about it from there. So let's get going. Click play. This is Feutor's, the same team I think that he built for a previous UU tournament. And he decided to just bring the same one again. Fair enough. We've got some good threats. We've got Feutor, obviously very hard to wall without certain fairy types. Srikes has been solid throughout the tournament with everyone who's used it so far. Questpass, a nice bulky mon with Glare, Stealth Rocks, Recovery, U-Turn. Doublade is a nice late game cleaner, bulky with a Violite, Swords Dance. Nidoking, wall breaking shenanigans as always, and that Typhlosion has either Specs or Scarf. I'm not sure which. I think it might be Scarf looking at the team. So difficult mon to deal with there with the nice Volt Switch, Stab Volt Switch coming off base 120 special attack makes it a really nice Scarfer unless the opponent's got a ground type that can reliably switch in. And Nidoking is not an example of such a ground type, but we'll see what Daniel's got on his team. He's led with the Dragoil. We haven't seen much out of Dragoil in his previous match. Well, it did a U-turn. That's interesting. I don't think I expected a U-turn coming from Dragoil. I wonder what this set is then. Well, we'll find out, I suppose. Goes out into Flymon. Very cool. Now, Flymon doesn't really want to do anything against Nidoking, if I'm totally honest. It doesn't have a good option. Nidoking is an absolutely ideal wall to Flymon. So, yeah, I don't think either he's vastly underestimating Nidoking's defenses or he's overestimating Flymon's offenses, because I don't think a Gunk Shot's going to do more than 40% here. So we'll see what he decides to do. If he wants to try and cut his losses and save this Flymon for a later time, which, isn't invalid because of the natural speed. You can always use it as a late game revenge killer or just a cleaner if you get rid of the ground type eventually. But we'll see what he decides to go for. Taking some time over it. Obviously, Nidoking, a very hard Pokemon to switch into. Yeah, so he decides to just stay in. That's doing about 35%. And Flymon does go down. So good progress for Feutor right off the rip here. And what does Daniel do about Nidoking? I'm sure he's got something that can come in and threaten it at this HP range. But we will find out. I'm trying to remember what's on Daniel's team. Ah, yes, the Ogremon. Of course, we faced this. So this one is, I don't think it was Scarfed, because it used Stealth Rocks last time. So, yeah, just a kind of offensive Stealth Rock set with knockoff as Stab, probably Bone Sweep, and something else. There we see the knockoff. Does get the Moxie boost. That's nice. Feutor's going to have to come into something that can reliably deal with this. Now the fact that, yeah, I mean, this thing is bulky enough to live any one hit from Typhlosion. Of course, you do get the Intimidate off here, which is always useful. U-turn threatens at least damage. Oh, wow, yeah. Threatens more than just damage. Goodness. I think that might be Max Attack Ceregal, which has done wonders for Feutor there. Comes into Questpass now, which I'm sure he's going to try and either just annoy something with Glare or get Stealth Rocks. At this stage in the game, rocks are always handy. Quespars is a very strange mon in terms of its design, but it's a fun one. I think I like it a lot more than what Nintendo decided to do with Dunsparce, probably the laziest example of Pokemon design in history. It's a meme, you know, I guess it's got that going for it, but yeah, I think I'd rather see something cool with wings and exciting features such as Quespars and a good typing as well, rather than just more normal typing. Okay, Etemon comes out here. Goes for Dark Network. Now that's scary, because obviously now with the +2 boost and the evasion rise, that's rather yikes for Feutor's team. I wonder what he can do here. If this Etemon has knockoff, Double Aid's not really the ideal answer, particularly because it'll knock the Eviolite off. It'll live one hit, but will that one hit be enough? Probably. What HP is this? This Cerebral? No, because you went for Defog. This is on. Sorry, this Etemon's on max HP. Yeah, goes for Concert Crush. Okay, Concert Crush is a unique move. It's basically like Tickle, essentially. I think is that Tickle reduces attack and special attack. Okay, so decides to just Swords Dance in its face, and that's fair enough, I would say. Ironhead obviously threatening Dragoil here, but of course Dragoil does get a lot of coverage that can hit Double Aids, so might not be the safest matchup in the world. You could just go into something that can take a... oh, goes for the Dark move. Night Days. Interesting. What is this Dragoil set? Is it a special set? I think I saw Flamethrower when we faced, and when we fought, me and Daniel. Fearo's can basically do what it wants here. Danyel is in the unfortunate position of really having to preserve everything he's got left, which is hard to do when you're facing down a Fearo without a fairy type. Did go for the ambush. Interesting. So this is the first Fearo we've seen that's got ambush on its set. Depends on what you like to do with Fearo, but I've kind of come to the conclusion that ambush is not... You don't really have room for it. It's nice to get additional chip on some stuff, but you kind of don't need it a lot of the time with Fearo. If you can hit something, you just click high jump kick and it dies. Well, that didn't do that much damage. I guess it's Black Glasses instead of Life Orb, so it's not getting any boost to its high jump kick. Etemon obviously has a Violite, so it takes less damage than it might otherwise do. This Etemon is causing some issues for Feutor here. Wizardmon, bold switch into Fearo, but it pays off. Shadow Sneak, of course, 4 times effective, is going to take this out, yeah. Wizardmon's a funny one in the tier, you know. I think it's got some niche uses on hyper offense, but on any kind of balance-ish team or bulky offense team, it's kind of... It's so vulnerable to things like Shadow Sneak, so vulnerable to Knockoff, Sucker Punch. It's a very difficult mon to play well with, I think. And in a lot of situations it'll just kind of die. But nevertheless, it's died here, certainly. And I think Danyel seems like he's in a bit of a tough spot here. Doesn't seem to have a great answer for this Double Aid at this stage, except possibly Flamethrower, but that Flamethrower from not Stab isn't going to do that much damage. Oh, good lord! I take it back! How on earth did that kill? I'm going to have to find out what the set on that Dracoil is. Is it Expert Belt? That would make sense. Expert Belt would make sense. Double Aid isn't very specially bulky, but it's got to be a Violite, right? I wonder how that killed. I'd like to do that calc. Never mind. For now, we've got Typhlosion in here. Uses the Earth Power, which is a nice catch-all. Gets rid of the Etemon. Now, it looks a little bleak for our friend Danyel here. But we will see. He's got any more tricks up his sleeve? I think Daniel's team building approach this time was kind of just throw things into a team that were cool and see what would happen. Oh, the Zoroark's still around. Has he got anything to even disguise the Zoroark as? Oh, of course, that could have been the Zoroark. Okay, that would make sense. That's why the flamethrower killed. Yeah. And he used Night Days before as well. I wasn't putting that together because I hadn't seen the team preview. I wasn't thinking about Zoroark. Yeah, so that's how Flamethrower was strong enough. That makes a lot of sense now. And it possibly was Expopel in that case. Okay, so this is the real Dragoil, and it's going to go down to an Earth Power here. So that's GG. Well done, Feutor. Advances to the second round of the lower bracket. And we will see who he plays next. I think it might be Josh, so that's always a classic showdown. Josh versus Feutor. So good game. On to the next.